Hi guys, welcome back to another Star Wars video. I hope you're all having a really good day today. Today's video, I wanted to talk about Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, this is actually the 10th time I've attempted to say it. I keep on saying Star Wars, a Solo story, and I've been doing it literally every time I've tried to do this video. So I finally got to do it. So I thought if I'm going to do it again, I'm just going to go with it and just go ahead with the video. But I finally got it correct. But anyway, let's move on from there. So at the moment, this last week or so, we've been getting a lot of interest in a Solo sequel, Solo 2. And there's been a hashtag going around saying, make Solo 2 happen. And it's got a lot of buzz. Ron Howard's replied to somebody about this with a smiley face. There's also now Ron Howard started to talk about Solo and why he thought that it didn't do so well at the box office, saying that it could have been trolls saying don't go and see this movie, it's not going to be any good, etc. Not really giving maybe the not so enthusiastic Star Wars fans saying, oh well, I'm not going to go and see it then, or people that are just casual fans and just thinking, oh okay, I mean maybe I won't go and see it then if there's a lot of people saying don't go and see it. But I personally saw it on release day and I went to go see it in IMAX, and I personally thought it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. And on my other channel that I had, I don't really use it anymore, but I had a video where I just reviewed loads of movies that I saw, etc. And as soon as I got home from seeing Star Wars: A Solo Story, I did a really long video on how much I loved it and what I loved about it. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description, and you can listen to it and see what you think of it. But a lot of people saying, oh, it's not Harrison Ford, it's not the Solo that I grew up with. No, it isn't, basically. I mean, I grew up with Star Wars, and I think the earliest memory I have of seeing Star Wars, I might have been about 3, possibly 4 or something like that. And I know for a fact that I remember it because I was living in our old house, and we left there when I was just 5. But I remember watching it before that we were moving, etc. And I would have been I think it's 3 or 4. Anyway, it was quite an early age, and I've been madly in love with Star Wars ever since, even though that after Return of the Jedi, we had the biggest break in anything that we've got there. I mean, we got the Ewoks TV movies, we got the Droids cartoons, which is one of my favourite cartoons, by the way. I think it's absolutely amazing, and I wish that they carried on with those characters in future adaptations. I don't know if they ever made sort of them in other comic books. I know there was a Droids comic book, so I had the Droids omnibus, but with the other characters in Droids, I would have liked to have seen them what they look like now in like really good animation, but that's going besides the point. So even within that long break, I was still obsessed with Star Wars, and I watched it. I had it on VHS, and I absolutely worn the videos to hell. And then when DVD came out in, I believe, DVD came out in the late 90s. Actually, I don't think Star Wars came out on DVD for a while, actually. But when they first came out, I got those DVDs straight away, and then when the Blu-rays came out, I swapped over to Blu-ray, and I'm holding back on 4K. I'm waiting for the 4K to come in for the whole box set. Then I'll buy the whole box set of 4K. At the moment, we've only got Last Jedi and Solo Star Wars Story, but I want the whole thing. I want a massive box set with everything in there. But that's besides the point. I'm sort of going off a bit. But what I loved about Solo is that it's kind of what I imagined. I know this is an impossible thing to imagine, but in my mind it was the kind of thing how I thought it would all kind of turn up, that he would meet him in some sort of adventure or something like that, and which probably seems like an obvious thing, but obviously not exactly how they've done it. But I just loved everything about it. And when I loved the big spoiler what happens at the end, so if you haven't seen it, just give it a minute or so. But when we saw the hologram of Darth Maul, I wasn't expecting that in a million years, and my mouth utterly dropped to the floor, and I couldn't believe it. And I was really happy because I'm a big fan of Clone Wars, and we got Darth Maul back into the Clone Wars with his metal legs, which was a little bit of unbelievable kind of storyline, but everybody loves Darth Maul, and the fact that he was back, I think we're all happy about it. And we thought, yep, fair enough, move it to one side. You know, he's been cut in half and he fell down at the chute, and fair enough. But I'm happy with that, and I loved the actors. You know, I thought Alden Ehrenreich was the perfect Han Solo. I really did. I was a bit wary to begin with. I thought, I don't know. I was kind of hoping that they would pick the German actor that was in The Age of Adeline, because he did such a great job of playing a young Han Solo, and he looked identical to him. So, to be honest with you, at the beginning of it, I was really gunning for him. I was hoping that he was going to be him because he's perfect. But Alden, I really liked him, and I actually going to confess, I never even heard of him before Solo, and I heard he was in like a TV show which I'd never seen before, and I did lots of research on him when I found out about him, which I do with all the actors and actresses that I get cast in Star Wars. I always do see what they're going to be like, what they're going to look like, what they're going to sound like. And I saw the trailers. I loved the trailers. They're really exciting, and just the story, Ron Howard being involved was really exciting for me because I'm a huge Ron Howard fan, especially in the 80s when we got Willow, etc. And he's just a cool dude. I love Ron Howard. He's brilliant. I like watching interviews that he's in, and he just seems like a really down to earth guy, and he's very cool. And I was hoping we'd bring this nostalgia back because he's also, not only is a friend of George Lucas, etc., but he's also a huge Star Wars fan as well, which gives us like that little bit more extra, it's going to be a good job. Now, unfortunately, not everybody enjoyed Solo. They, like I said before, they said that's not Harrison Ford, that's not the Han Solo that I grew up with, which is fair enough. I if that's what you were expecting, you didn't get it, then I can understand why that you were disappointed. But the movie in whole was actually a pretty good movie. I mean, I watched this. I watched Jedi Council, that's done by Collider, and I do respect some of their views on there. And Christian that's on there, who's my favourite host of the show, he said it was fine, but it was just like an episode of Clone Wars or something like that. Kind of like, that was all right, yeah, but it wasn't like this massive epic movie that he thought it would be. And I do agree with him on a certain extent, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I am really disappointed that it had the backlash. I mean, when I saw it, I thought it was great. I think it was amazing, and I thought, oh my gosh, we've seen Darth Maul and Kira as well, and there's going to be an adventure with them too, something that's going to go on with them too. Maybe it might go off into a spin-off movie or something like that, maybe. But with the extremely I don't think it was extremely upsetting or bad outcome of the movie grossing. I believe I'm going by Internet Movie Database here, that the overall earnings, the worldwide earnings, was 392 million and some change, and basically the budget was 300 million. So basically, they didn't lose any money on it, but only earning like 92 million profit isn't good for them, considering the other Star Wars movies. I think almost every single one of the new movies, like The Force Awakens, Rogue One, and The Last Jedi, I believe, all made $1 billion at the box office worldwide. That's European and USA sales. And anything below that is considered a failure. But there is a huge Solo fan base, and is Bob Iger gonna give in and say, well, let's give it one more go? I doubt it. I really doubt it. With the huge backlash it got, it's just, unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to say goodbye to it. But the Make Solo 2 Happen petition that they're doing, it is great. It just means that you can see that there's tons of Solo fans out there, and maybe it might get Disney to rethink, maybe let's make it into a TV series, a series for Disney Plus, which I would absolutely love. Now, I was actually thinking about this the other day because of this Make Star Wars Happen thing going viral and a lot of people sort of commenting on it, etc. And I follow the guys that created this on Twitter, and they're really cool guys. They always reply to any tweets that I send them on my personal account. And, they're just fans just like the rest of us, And I'm more going along the sides of it being a TV series, or a Disney Plus series, sorry, than another movie. And the reason for it is because the Solo adventures, it could do really well as a TV series. I mean, there's no Jedis or anything like this, so it could be based on the underworld of smugglers and bounty hunters and just the adventure to see Han. And I really want Alden to come back as Han. I'm sold on him. And in the back of my mind, if they had to recast Indiana Jones, I would quite like him as Indiana Jones as well. And I know a lot of people might not like that idea of it. And there's Chris Pratt being, rumoured to be the next Indiana Jones. I'm not too fussed with that idea, to be honest with you. I think maybe finish Indiana Jones at Indiana Jones 5, which is going to be filmed next year. I think it's going to be released in maybe 2021, maybe. But yeah, I just really like Alden, and it's a shame, for them just to end that movie with that great cast in it, and for me, I really want to see Enfys Nest back again. I thought that was an extremely cool, spoilers, non-villain, which we thought was a villain throughout the movie, and decided to be possibly the person that creates, the rebellion, the rebels, the first set of rebels. And I also liked Woody Harrelson's character. It's a shame that he went. I mean, he could have been put into the story. Val, I really liked Val, who unfortunately she died on the bridge of the train heist. And also Jon Favreau's character as well. I mean, Rio, I really liked him. I mean, all those cool characters, and unfortunately they didn't last very long. They could be in this Solo TV series, but unfortunately, how the movie went, that Han only met them for, I'm assuming, the space of half a day possibly. So there's no room there for them to put them into a TV series where they know each other, where it's been like a couple of years or something like that. So unfortunately, we've got to say goodbye to those characters. But Disney could do a spin-off of those characters, of maybe Woody Harrelson's Beckett, the Beckett story. Maybe have an underworld TV series of that as well. I mean, we're getting the Rogue One spin-off, which I personally am a little bit surprised of there. I mean, when I watched Rogue One, I wouldn't have picked him to be on a spin-off, but they're getting was it K2SO? Was it KSO2? Oh, KSO2, I think. His robots in the movie. So them two are going to be together in the spin-off, which I actually like more now. I'm actually I mean, anything to do with Star Wars, I'll take. And, don't get me started on The Mandalorian. I'm so excited for The Mandalorian, I can't even tell you. I'm more excited than The Mandalorian than I am at episode 9 at the moment. I just feel like I think it should be episode number 9 should be the last movie, and I think we should really just move on from the Skywalker saga. I mean, I think it has been done. it's just unfortunate that we never got any movies straight after Return of the Jedi. So, Jedi came out in '83, depending which country you are, I guess. And, we've had like a 30-year gap. Imagine how much stories we could have had with Mark Hamill still in there, Harrison Ford still in there, and Carrie Fisher still in there. We'd have had tons and tons of adventurous movies, and it just would have been amazing. But now we've lost Carrie, unfortunately, and Harrison's been killed off in Force Awakens, and Mark Hamill has Luke Skywalker, and we're all on edge at the moment, wondering whether we're going to get him as a Force ghost. Yeah, I'm done now. It's like let's get some new characters. Let's get some new movies. I mean, we're getting the new trilogy coming out, started in 2021, and then 2020. Gosh, no, it's 2022, 2024, and then 2026. So those movies that we've got a lot to look forward to. I believe that the Game of Thrones guys are definitely doing the first movie, and there's other stories about a lady who's written for movies before. She's writing the Old Republic. We don't know whether it's the Knights of the Republic or not, or whether it's the Old Republic. We're not too sure. That I'm very excited about. I played the game and I really enjoyed it. I only got to level 10, which was where it stopped being free, and then you had to do a subscription. And I kind of stopped there, and I thought, I don't know. I'm not very good at PC games. I'm more of a console person. I have a PS4 and an Xbox One, and I'm a console man. I'm not very good at keyboard and mouse. And if they brought it to the console, then I'd buy it in a shop. I'd be playing in it all the time. But that's not my bag, really. And I'm also looking forward to E3 next week, which I'll do another video about. Again, I'm going completely off topic again, but I just wanted to know your thoughts about a Solo sequel or a Solo series on Disney Plus. I'd really like it if you've got a few minutes just to make comments in the comments section and just tell me your thoughts, because I'd love to chat to you about it. The whole reason I've done this YouTube channel is because none of my friends or colleagues or anything actually like Star Wars, so I physically don't have anybody to talk to about Star Wars, and I wanted to make this YouTube channel so I could talk to people that have the same love of Star Wars as I do, and I love listening to people's thoughts. My main thing I like to talk to people about is Empire Strikes Back, and why people love Empire Strikes Back so much, because it's my favourite Star Wars movie, and I am interested in why people do love Empire Strikes Back. Is it because everybody else likes Empire Strikes Back, or do they have a simple do they have a reason why they love Empire Strikes Back so much, and it's not because everybody else does? Me personally, I love it so much is because I love the setting. I love Cloud City. I love, we got to see Lando for the first time, and he's a great character. And I loved the amazing reveal that we got. And I love the idea that the good guys lost for a change. It's not something that you see in a lot of, fantasy movies or sci-fi movies, that the good guys always win. And the fact that they lost for once, I thought that was very different. I think that was really unexpected, that basically they got a whooping, but obviously they came back and returned the Jedi and gave them hell, which was obviously amazing. But please give me your comments, guys, and tell me your thoughts on Solo, if there's going to be a Solo 2. I personally hope that there's a Disney, I keep on saying TV series when it's a Disney Plus series. If that's going to happen, I would absolutely adore that. If they just gave us a chance and gave us 10 episodes and see how that went with the original cast from the Solo movie, I'd be so happy. And just, I don't know how well the Blu-ray sales went, but I think it done better than the movie, because I think people said, I'm not going to go and see it, but I'll see it if it comes out on Netflix or Blu-ray or something like that. So I think they actually did pretty well on the Blu-ray sales. But yes, please leave a comment. I really want to chat to you guys about that. My next video will be in the next couple of days for the 7th of June for Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's going to be a massive, and I mean massive, announcement from EA about Battlefront 2, and we're apparently going to get the biggest update ever with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it's going to be extremely exciting. Apparently they're not going to be at E3. I think they're going to be at EA Play, but only for the new Star Wars Jedi game that's comes out in the fall. So I think they're doing a community transmission on the 7th of June, completely separate from EA Play and E3. So as soon as that comes out, I will be doing a video on it, and hopefully we're going to get some really great stuff in there. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button so you can get more videos and my thoughts if you're interested in that sort of stuff. And I will see you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.